Good morning, my friends. I'm in my kitchen. It's a beautiful April 5th morning, and I wanted to check in on my sweet worms. And these are a collection of cocoons that hatched, and also little tiny worms that have grown up a bit. And they were put in here, I want to say a couple weeks ago. I went back and tried to find it, and I couldn't quite get when I did this, but it was about 12 days ago, I think. And then I started this sweet worm by just adding the two together. And then I had the cardboard down on the bottom. And I really, I've had a few things going on in my world, and I haven't really checked in on them lately. So let's just see, are worms truly the pet that you can go on vacation and leave and come back and find them just thriving all by themselves and not expecting a t-shirt or a new collar or anything? So let's give it a shot here. Anyway, I already did kind of lift the lid because I can't do that one-handed. And let's see what we have inside. By the way, this is the one that I started using, this nylon fabric that's really fine. And I'm finding that I'm getting, I saw one tiny little bug in one of the little shoe boxes that I started, that I just put in shred and coffee grounds and stuff, just to kind of like inoculate it before I put any worms in. And I'm finding that this netting, though, really does hold back any kind of fruit flies or, just anything that I don't know. I haven't seen any mites or anything in it, but it's pretty fine. Anyway, let's just see where we are. So we've got a couple coffee filters. Let me put this down a little further so I can move this on and not mess up my kitchen too badly. I hope everybody's good today. The weather here is beautiful. Let's see if I got a fork. Yep. Oh, look, it looks like Hawaii, doesn't it? Little palm trees. I did come in here, excuse me, I did come in here afterwards, and I put down some strawberry tops for them because, they didn't really have anything but the shred and coffee grounds. And of course I put in eggshell because we know that they don't have teeth. Worms don't have teeth. They just have kind of like a little cupping lip, almost like a top lip, where they just kind of like cup things and bring it into themselves, into their mouth, and then it goes on into their gizzard. The gizzard is where the coffee, the eggshells are, so that they can grind it up and pass through their system. So let's see what we got. Just start in the back corner here and see if we see anyone. I'm going to try and turn this camera around. Does it turn around like that? No, apparently it doesn't. So let me try to hold it a different way so that I can see what I'm doing here. Am I seeing anybody? Wow, looks like some nice castings already, but I think that's just coffee grounds. I don't think we could have much in the way of castings in a couple weeks. Oh, there's one guy. If you have been watching, you know that there were approximately 600 worms added into this that were just either they were beyond the wisp stage. They were tiny little worms. 2 adults, up to the size of adults, not just 2 adults, but I would say maybe there was 100 adults at most. I'm feeling a little of that old cardboard. Yeah, see, there's some of that old cardboard. I had put a layer of cardboard down, but this feels pretty dry. Let's move over and see what we've got. Another worm. A little bit more underneath the strawberry. So at least they're eating. And you know I'm doing this with my trusty fork. That way I can kind of work it off there. Yeah, this feels very dry. Of course, I'm so used to the can of worms, which is a pretty moist situation. You can see all the little white spots in there, and of course that's the ground eggshell. I used to do this. Look how tiny they are. Look, they're still pretty tiny. You see that little guy on the end of the fork? Hey, wait a minute, I'm not that tiny. I'm in first grade. Okay, so they are growing because, I had ones that were about 1/4 of an inch. So that guy looked like he was stretched out maybe 3/4 of an inch. There's more. Wow. Worms are hermaphrodites. They're both male and female. For those of you who are new to this, they kind of hook up at the worm party, male to female, and from what I understand, they can reproduce, having a couple eggs a week. So imagine what that would do for your worm population. You know, even if you started out with just 100 worms, by the end of the year you could have quite a population in your little bin. And this is just I had this little tote. I think it's only a 3-gallon tote. So I decided to, garden what you've got is my mantra, and it was holding some things, and I thought, oh, I bet I could find another container for those and use this for my worms. Oh, seems to be more down in this section. Let me see if I can turn you around here a little bit, and we'll see what's going on over in this section of the world. Yeah, many more. It's like they pick a particular spot, which I can't figure out. They love the corners. It's like, the gunslinger who always likes to be against the back of the wall so he can see who's coming in after him. These guys seem like they like being down in the dark corners for protection, if that's in fact. Nice. It's looking good. One more corner to go. Let's see who we got done here. Can you see that this is way too dry? I think for 2 reasons. Not only for the worms, but I don't think I'm going to be breaking down as much more worms. And they seem to be dispersed. I mean, they are at the corners. Anyway, too dry for the worms, and also too dry for decomposition. of the cardboard. I mean, let's be honest, I put my cardboard out in the backyard and put grass clippings on top of it. And that's a nice sized worm. Come here. Come here, little guy. I want you to see that. Where am I? One minute I'm sucking in coffee grounds, the next minute I'm blinded by the light. All right, back you go. Anyway, that was about it. I just wanted to show you because I was curious as to how well this is doing. Let's see if we get anybody down at the bottom in the center. Yeah, they are. They're dispersed. I'm used to seeing them. Like when I do my can of worms, they're always way at the bottom. Bottom tray, in the well. This feels incredibly heavy and I don't want to poke anybody in the eye, so to speak. Wait, they don't have eyes. Oh, right. You didn't poke me in the eye, but you made a hole in my head. Yeah, you can see they're down there. And you can see this cardboard is really starting to disintegrate, which means that that whole bottom layer is probably... There's part of it. Oops, let me get the camera on you, sorry. And there were a few worms tucking in. So what I'm going to do today, this being April 5th, not that that has any real significance, but let's do a side feeding. Let's see if that works. Come on, little darlings. There you are. Okay. So we're going to, this is banana peel that was frozen. And we're going to tuck in a bit. I don't think I'm going to give it all that. But I must say, it's a little slimy. Eee, yikes. It's a little much. And maybe put some nice bedding on top of it. Da, 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 da. I should have some music with this. Not me singing, but some music. And, oh, I know. This is eggshell and sunflower seeds. It was bird feed. And I ground the two together so that I could do a 2-in-1. And I'm going to do the coffee grounds first. There we go. And a little of this. Nice little sprinkle. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the bedding on top of it. That should make them happy. What do you think? There. Good job, guys. Okay. Alrighty. And then what do we have left to do? Oh, yes. We have to pull the drapes because these guys like to eat in the dark. These coffee filters are a couple weeks old. So you'll see that in about probably another month's time, these will just break down. They're great, by the way, if you wanted to save them and use them in the bottom of your clay pots. You know, you have a hole in your pot, well, plastic pot, clay pot, whatever. This fiber does break down, but because it's a fiber, it seems to hold at the bottom of your clay pots and keeps any dirt from, washing out. To me, it works better than a stone because a stone holds things back, whereas this won't. It won't hold it back. It won't hold liquids back, but it'll hold everything else back. So that's the end of my story. And I'm going to put our lid back on, and everybody's going to be safe and sound. Excuse me. I hope you'll come back and see me again. Like I said, this is April 5th, so, let's check back in a couple weeks and see what good pets these are that you can go on vacation and leave them, and they're just as happy as could be. So I hope you'll subscribe and ring the bell, come back and see me again, and I promise I'll be here. So take care, everybody, and remember, garden what you've got. Bye-bye.